They say music is life, so I give them the Cha-Cha Music Review podcast. Turned up the volume, gave them the time of their lives. They said they wanted new artists, I gave them the Cha-Cha Spotlight series. They wanted deep music conversations, I plugged them into the Cha-Cha Let's Talk Music series. They are crazy about the hit makers, so I hit them with the Cha-Cha Hit Makers series. And for the albums I know they shouldn't miss, I blessed them with the Cha-Cha Album Review series. I created the Cha-Cha EP compilation series, so they will have a taste of the best of EPs. They should tell their friends. You should let your family know. We should let everyone who cares about African music know. Afisanova is back in the game, and you can catch me every Saturday amplifying the African sounds by bringing the best of African music to your ears. I am your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force, and this is the Cha-Cha Music Review podcast.
I know this is supposed to be a Cha-Cha album review series, but what I'll be doing today will be more of album recommendation, which means I will personally be recommending these albums to you. As a musical plug, it will be a huge failure on my part if I don't recommend these albums that I'm about to talk about. Like I said, this is not going to be the usual review that I used to do. This is me telling you, as a matter of fact, quote and unquote, put time say, I dey order you, make una go listen to these albums where I want to talk about. Yes, I'm using albums because I'll be talking about two albums. The first one is Tears of the Sun from Teni. At first, I didn't even want to talk about this album because I felt like, why would I talk about it? You people will listen to this album and you definitely like it and you're not going to, miss out on it. But the way I dey see am, it be like say you dey sleep on this album, and that's why I'm here to tell you, Jimasun, wake up from your slumber, do not sleep. This is an album that you must definitely listen to. It is one of the best albums to be ever released in 2023, and also one of the best sophomore album ever to be released. I know Teni put out a good album when she kept the first album, Wonderland, but this album is way better than that album. Now, this album titled Tears of the Sun was released, on the 17th of November. It features Kuti, Odumodublvck, and Tayc. Those were the people that featured, on the album. And the album was used by Rymez, Uche Martins, Daniel Williams, Marcel, Desmond, Evudjefi, Quddus King, Ugochukwu, Genio, Sarz, Opedamayo, Ogala, and Oluwademilade, Ayobamidele. Those were the people that produced, the album. So, like I said, this is not a review. This is a recommendation. You must listen to this album. This is not one of those albums that I will tell you, if you don't listen to it, I'll refund. If you don't like it, I'll refund your data. This album, you must like them. Unless, of course, your taste bud is bad or you don't even know any. Even if you don't know anything about music, if this is going to be your first introduction into music, this is an album that you definitely enjoy. Shout out to Teni. She really came through on this album, and shout out to every producers that worked on this album, especially what's his name, Cook Beats, Kukuruku, that thing that you did on Jalingo. That thing is off the inches. I mean, shout out to you. You really came through on that production. Like I said, this is not a review. This is a recommendation. Tears of the Sun by Teni is an album that you must listen to. Why? Because it is one of the best albums of 2023.
Let me introduce you to the Teen Talk with Femi podcast. What is this podcast about? Teen Talk with Femi podcast is a podcast that drops every Sunday by 2 p.m. On this podcast, we have a lot of amazing stories, lifestyle stories, motivational and self-help topics. And we even have guest talks from time to time to talk on these topics. It has been an amazing journey, and we'd love to have you on this journey with us. So please connect and listen to our episodes. I'm so happy to have you here. Thank you.
The second album that I'll be talking about is this album that was released on the 27th of October, and the album features the likes of Zlatan, Ebll, Victor A.D., Young Sis, Kyla E, Corizo, G-Baller, Savage, Ebll, Krista. Those are the people that featured on the album. And some of the producers that worked on the album include Obi Promise, you have Gideon, Ituma, you have Ernest Ogaga, you have Dangana Ebiowi Jones, you have Joshua Kenneth Omagi, you have Ebll Onchu. Those were some of the few people, that worked on the album. Now, which album am I talking about? I'm talking about Family Time by Erigga. Yes, this is another album that I want to recommend to you. Like I said, this is not a review. This is just a recommendation. This is me, quote and unquote, ordering you. Say, Chacha Nation, if una never listen to this Erigga album by now, make una go listen because una dey dull. If you are talking about rawness, if you are talking about realness, if you are talking about strictness, this album has everything. I remember when Bimi and I did the review of Erigga's last album, which is titled Lost Boy, right? I remember how Bimi described and he said he could see the growth in Erigga, right? And I was imagining how happy he was listening to that album. Now they imagine how his brain would be burst even listen to this album, because now so my own brain self the burst when I listen to this album. We all know already that Erigga is one of the realest rapper that you have in this country, and also the top 3 best storytelling rapper that you have. His rap flows are just pure and raw, and everything he says is something so relatable that everybody on the street, everybody on the hustle, everybody on the grind will be able to relate to. And this album is one of the most complete album of 2023. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put out my neck and say it is one of the best rap album, the top 3 rap album in 2023. Trust me, Erigga once again killed it. So those are the 2 albums that I'm recommending for you on this episode of the Chacha album review series / Chacha album recommendation series. Maybe I can even turn this to a new series on its own. Chacha album recommendation. Those albums that I'm going to recommend to you that you must listen to. And I'm not going to do a review. I'm just tell you should listen to those albums. Maybe I'll turn it to, I don't know. You can never tell what the future holds. But yes, Tears of the Sun by Teni and Family Times by Erigga. Those are the 2 albums that I'm recommending for you today. Make sure you go and listen to it. Like, come your way with another episode. My name will always remain Afistonova, your musical plug, the creator of the Energy Force. Remember, keep your energy, keep it 100, and keep it positive. Peace out.
Cha-cha time, 2 time for the cha-cha gang. Give me the cha-cha gang. Rockin' with the best, the cha-cha gang. Give me the cha-cha gang. Alayela with cha-cha gang. Give me the cha-cha gang. What's in my body, cha-cha gang. Give me the cha-cha gang, cha-cha gang. What's in my body?